moved in. But demonic possession is not something to be messed around with. Kids should not be playing around with Ouija boards. Demons are out there. I mean, seriously, have you ever heard the story of Michael Taylor?
No.
It's not. It's not.
plain.
Trigger warning. This one gets a little messy, so a bit of a trigger warning for
It
you out
sounds
there.
so plain and mundane. Like
I
Michael
know.
Taylor went to the post office, and then he went to Publix, and then he went home.
And that was Michael Taylor's life, actually. In the
Okay.
beginning, that was Michael Taylor's life. See, he lived in the small town of Ossett in England. He was 31, had a wife, Christine, and 5 children. He and his family were...
That's
had a lot of kids. A lot of kids.
Jeez.
He and his family were described as kind, mild-mannered, and that he was a loving husband. He had a chronic back injury and inability to find permanent work, and so sometimes he had mild bouts of depression. But other than that, nothing really that special that stood out.
How did he hurt his back?
Banging his wife?
Probably.
Nice.
Probably.
Count it! Roasted!
Other than that, there was nothing really that unusual about him. The town was a quite religious small town, but the Taylors tended not to attend church. But then, in 1974, Michael was introduced to the Christian Fellowship Church, a local church group led by 21-year-old Marie Robinson.
Led by a 21-year-old?
Yes, very enigmatic, very beautiful.
Don't be ageist, but I will say that if a 21-year-old is like, I have the mystery of life figured out, come follow me, I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, but...
What are you going to take me like an EDC? Like, what's going on?
That's awesome.
Electric Daisy Carnival?
Yeah.
But I want like an 80, 90-year-old man who has studied like this religion their entire life, or woman.
We know what
Thank
studied
you,
their
thank
or
you.
honestly,
I gave them the look.
or horse, or cat, or what, like as long as they have
They
like
can
this has been their whole
Command
life.
of the English language.
Yeah,
And wokeness.
right. Super woke, super studied, knows their shit,
Super
front
old.
to back.
Michael began to spend more and more time with the group. They would hold congregations where they would use the power of God to exorcise people of their sins and even speak in tongues. Michael and Marie would participate in private rituals where they'd stay up all night making the sign of the cross at each other. Which
What?
I just think
Like
that just...
drawing it or like with their hands?
Yeah, that's just
Like-
just doing it with their hands, putting it at them. I don't know, doing like maybe little mini tattoos,
Like-
and there's maybe a little henna.
Like in the Catholic Church, where you go, spectacles, testicles,
Holy-
wallet, and watch. Like
Holy Trinity.
Wait,
North,
it's
south,
up,
west,
down,
east.
left, right, or up, down, right, left?
then AB, select, start.
Nice.
10 extra lines.
Yeah.
Contra code.
They began to spend more and more time with each other, and Michael spent less and less time with his wife and family. In the meantime, Michael's attitude began to change as well. He became irritable, argumentative, and sullen. His wife began to feel that the church group was having a negative influence on him. And plus, she was none too happy with Michael's apparent infatuation with Marie. So during one congregation, Christine decided to confront Michael about their relationship.
Yep.
Bad idea. The formerly mild-mannered Michael flew into a rage. He began to verbally lash out at Marie and became so violent that he had to be restrained by other churchgoers. Marie would later speak about the happening, saying that, I suddenly glanced at Mike, and his whole features changed. He looked almost bestial. He kept looking at me, and there was a really wild look in his eyes. I started screaming at him out of fear. I started speaking in tongues. Mike also screamed at me in tongues, which would be really fun to see. Two people going, just yelling at each other violently.
It's also weird because it's like two schizophrenics yelling gibber jabberish at one another.
Yeah.
With this week's special guest pastor, Jerry Springer.
I was on the verge of death, she said, and I knew that only the name of Jesus would save me. And I started saying it over and over again, Jesus, Jesus. And when Christine heard me calling out the name of Jesus, she started saying it too. And I believe firmly that was the only thing that kept me from being killed.
Communal prayer.
They finally were able to calm him down. And despite the violent outburst, which he claimed to have no memory of, Michael received full forgiveness from the church.
A lot of communities think that if you band together and just as a mantra, you can counteract negative forces.
But it didn't help his mental state, and it continued to deteriorate.
Jesus Christ.
And finally, he felt that he was under the influence of demonic powers. And so local priests were brought in to perform an exorcism. So on October 5th, 1974 at midnight, the ritual was performed. It would last throughout the night and well into the morning. The priest said that at least 40 demons infested Michael, including demons representing incest, bestiality, blaspheme, lewdness, heresy, masochism, and carnal knowledge.
Oh, that's getting close.
Carnal knowledge is a demon?
Yeah, he's got his own demon.
It's basically like all of Andrew Dice Clay's act.
Yeah, made in a person form. The priest worked until the point of exhaustion and could work no more. However, they warned that 3 demons still inhabited Michael. The demons of insanity, anger, and murder.
Those are tough ones.
These sound like some shady fucking contractors is what it is. Like, oh, dude, 40 demons, man. It's going to take all night and into tomorrow. And then, like, you still got 3 more.
We'd love to be done right now,
it's
but
going to be at least double what we quoted. I'm sorry.
The priest has one of those little, like, 4-inch pencils behind his ear,
exactly.
like an apron. He's like, so it's going to cost you an extra $6,000. We're going to have to...
Turns out 40 goddamn demons and anger and murder.
We're going to have to run the AC pipes underneath the house.
I got to call my guys.
Was he just belly crawling like through Central Square to get 40 demons? Did he name them all by name?
I don't know if he went through and named them all, but there's at least
you got him Pokemon style, anger, or like Care Bear style, like anger, rage.
That's valid.
I don't know. Fritz and I were talking earlier, and there is actually a story in the Bible that Jesus performs an exorcism on a man, and they're saying that as many as 10 demons or a whole...
I am Legion.
Yes, that is the famous quote.
Yeah.
We are
X-Men thing?
We are Legion. That a
Basically,
whole
that's where it
host
came from.
of demons were possessing this man, and the quote is, "We are legions." So he exorcises the demons from this man into a herd of pigs, of swine, and they end up running into a river and drowning themselves.
And that's why pork is delicious. Because of all the demons.
All the demons. Yeah, it's the devil.
You can really taste the demon
The
in this
sweet,
place.
sweet devil.
Sample that. So Christine begged them to continue, but they said they could do no more. And they told them to go home, get some rest, and prepare for the completion of the ritual the next day. Once again, bad idea. 2 hours later, Michael brutally attacked and killed Christine in their home.
Why?
Get out.
He strangled her to death with his bare hands, gouged out her eyes, tore out her tongue, and ripped off most of her face. Then, the family poodle would receive the same fate.
Oh, that doesn't deserve that.
Immediately, Kaz just winced.
As soon as he said family poodle, I was like, God damn it, I knew it.
He's going all John Wick over here.
Kaz wilted. And Kaz is such an amazing soul. You just hurt him, man, Daddy.
You did.
No, Michael hurt him. I didn't hurt him. Michael hurt you.
The tail. It was.
Speaking of the tail, what about the poor poodle?
Was it a standard or a mini?
Man, Daddy, you just wilted Kaz. Now that's a fact.
A double wilt. The rare double wilt.
Well, now you're taking credit for both.
So after this little fun time, Michael walked out of the house, naked, covered in blood, and wandered through the town shouting, "It's the blood of Satan," over and over, until he was finally picked up by the local sheriff. Now, during the trial, it was discussed whether he was possessed or if it was the influence of the church group itself. At one point, the church group was described as, and I love this quote,
was there no mental health option?
Well, meaning that it was brought on by the church, that like the church, what caused the issue.
Well, that speaks volumes.
So, but the church group was described as neurotics feeding neuroses to a neurotic.
So like a room full of Woody Allens? I was talking to my analyst.
A room full of churched up Woody Allens.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jesus yesterday, and they told me that you're a sinner.
Like doing therapy on Woody Allen.
It's hard to do a Woody Allen impression.
Without being racist?
Yeah, totally.
Where's the line, Kaz? I really want to know.
Let Woody decide that, and we'll fall in line after.
Now, in the end, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity and spent only 4 years in observation and was released into the world. And he continued to show odd behaviors and even attempted suicide 4 times. In 2004, he was arrested for sexually harassing an underage girl.
So this is someone with a history of mental health issues who was kind of freed. Yeah,
just unleashed on the world. I couldn't find. I think he kind of. We're not sure if he's alive or dead. I think he kind of went into hiding. He received only 3 years for the sexual harassment. So, like you're just saying, was this the work of the devil or a deranged mind? Because that's the whole thing with all possessions. You got to wonder what's going on. Is it the mind or is it a demon?
I know.
What the hell is going on?
What?
He
What
grabbed
the-
the